What if Gabriel entered the coma instead of Emily? Gabriel is the one who drove everything to the extreme points. He became the villain and died without achieving anything. Or did he? Besides, we don't know Emily's character too well. That's why we will guess. What if her husband had died on the same day? What would have changed in the story? There is only one way to find out. The day it all began, Emily sends her husband to the tomb with Natalie. She cried over and over again for him. Fate brought them together, only to separate them as if it meant nothing. They got what they wanted, and she lost her loved one, but gained another. Her heart was more fragile and forgiving than Gabriel's, but only for a while. Despite all her attempts to stay positive, she eventually began to understand the truth. This was all because of the miraculouses. They had taken her husband and left her all alone in the world. And she starts her hatred towards this magical jewels and vows to find a way to cure her husband and destroy all miraculouses. Over time, Adrian and Natalie began to overcome their grief, but Emily remained isolated in her room, neither eating nor sleeping. Natalie always looked after her and noticed that Emily was working on the ancient Guardian book along with other old artifacts. The book they had found in a Tibetan temple was no ordinary text, and she was determined to uncover something about the mysterious illness. The first day of school began the same for Marinette, but not for Adrian. He never wanted to leave his mother's side, yet Emily insisted, "You need to explore the world, son." She sent him off to the new school year because if she was going to do this, she needed to be alone at home. In this series, Adrian is in a better position. He is happier, while Marinette remains unchanged for no reason. Their friend group and most of their relatives stays the same. Later that day, when Emily saw Gabriel, once again she began her plan. They had discovered 2 miraculouses in a Tibetan temple, and she intended to use the butterfly miraculous. Being cleverer than Gabriel, and with Natalie's help, she starts the use encrypted book. There were more miraculouses than they had expected, providing many options to heal Gabriel in theory. Her first idea was akumatizing her assistant. She asked Natalie to transform herself into a medic and give it a try. But unfortunately, it never worked. But why? Why? They wondered. The magic wasn't enough. They needed answers. Master Fu senses a powerful energy, and he gives the miraculouses our heroes just like the original. Yet, Stoneheart never occurred because Emily didn't want to affect anyone. For a while at least. That's why our heroes didn't use their miraculouses, and Catnoir never fell in love during Ladybug's heroic moments. Sorry shippers, but things will be better, I promise. However, Adrian and Marinette eventually ends up in the umbrella scene, blushing at each other. I think if he never fallen in love with Ladybug, he might have started dating with Marinette from the very beginning. As the days passed, Master Fu began to suspect that perhaps it was a mistake. And he considered taking the miraculouses back cause he might be wrong. But that day, Emily starts to act strange, Natalie concluded. Her aura was different, and she felt that this wasn't the old Emily anymore. They couldn't heal Gabriel because the Peacock Miraculous was still active. Emily solved the puzzle that day. It wasn't visible, but it was obvious that as long as Adrian existed, Gabriel would never recover. He was still draining Gabriel's energy, and there was almost nothing to do. For a moment, she noticed Ladybug's and Catnoir's miraculouses in the book and began reading about their wish-granting potential. Both of them agrees and starts their journey. Marinette and Adrian were trying out their powers at home and occasionally in the city. They encountered each other several times, but they never hung out because there was no villain. It was strange. Tiki and Plag had warned them about another user, yet no attack had occurred. This made the Kwamis extremely nervous, as were our heroes. Suddenly, a giant object appeared in the street, scanning people. Our heroes were confused. The object didn't look menacing or like a villain, but it was undeniably odd. When the robotic figure turned toward them and scanned them, an akumatized Natalie appeared and declared, "I found you!" She attacked the heroes, trying to seize their jewels. The inexperienced heroes were caught by her tentacle-like arms, and she nearly managed to take their miraculouses. Both of them uses their powers, but prepared Natalie countered their abilities like she prepared or something like that. Then a turtle-like hero attacked Natalie and shattered the akumatized object. Fu shouted for Ladybug to catch the butterfly and they managed to stop her. Although she was the first akumatized person, the heroes remained unaware of this fact. Nonetheless, the mission was a success. Emily, who had transformed into Lady Butterfly, watched the scene from a distance. They were right. There were more miraculouses, and the one that appeared later must be the one in charge. The heroes sent Natalie back to her home, and afterward, Fu called out for Ladybug and Catnoir. They had been so reckless, a great disappointment to him. They had failed miserably and nearly lost the most powerful miraculouses. When Master Fu looked the heroes, he saw their eyes, the reflections of himself and his beloved Marianne. Their eyes spoke for them, and that was enough for Master Fu to decide to begin training the new heroes in following morning. When they split up, transformed Emily follows Master Fu, though the old guardian couldn't recognize her because he was so tired. He then enters his massage salon. Lady Butterfly witnesses this and learned the true identity of Jade Turtle. The guardian, who had all the miraculouses, is compromised, and she smirks like his husband. It might be Emily's first mission, but it was a true success. She goes to mansion and tells the Natalie to make a great plan. The next day, Ladybug and Catnoir starts their training. Fu tries to be patient, but these kids were so annoying.
Lucky charm! Lucky charm!
He thought for a moment. Ladybug was so clumsy, and Catnoir was always wanting more and more attention. He thinks to bring more heroes to the table, but it was way too hard for him to deal with them. Instead, he should train them in the first place. A couple of days later, Marinette and Adrien was still trying to adjust their new hero life. It was hard but manageable, but unfortunately Emily is not a neglecting parent, and she starts to become suspicious. The between Adrien and Emily was too close. She always wanted to say the truth to Adrien, but scared of upsetting him. If he learned that he wasn't human, it would be devastating. All they wanted was a normal life, and she planned to make her family perfect with the wish. The following days were very quiet, but everything changed when a new girl came to school. Lila Rossi, who acted like a supermodel, claimed she had met a superhero or something like that. She was so perfect that Marinette became jealous because Adrien and Lila formed a really good friendship this time. Marinette and Adrien had a genuine friendship, and they liked each other. But Lila started to ruin things as always. Without any proof, Marinette never be able to deceive her, and Lila manages to impress Adrien, and they start dating. Betrayed Marinette feels horrible. They spent less time with Adrien, and Alia always tries to make her happy a little bit. That's why Marinette starts to focus on more training and her duty as Ladybug. Meanwhile, Lila and Adrien become a thing because there was no way to reveal her ugly personality. Over time, the usual akumatized people were no longer a challenge. The villains were getting better, but they never hurt anyone. All they wanted were the jewels. But one day, everything has changed. It was another mission for Emily and Natalie. When Sapotis is akumatized, Ladybug doesn't face the danger alone. This time, she brings someone new by her side. Watching multiple miraculouses in action fills Emily with a quiet thrill. It confirms her suspicion. The old guardian still holds the miraculouses, and Ladybug has access to them, freely choosing what she needs. From the shadows, Emily watches the battle unfold across the city, eyes sharp and calculating. When Sapotis is finally defeated, Ladybug and the mysterious new hero retreat into an alleyway. That's when Emily sees her clearly, Alia Césaire. So she's the one wielding the Fox Miraculous now. As Ladybug rushes to Master Fu's location while her transformation nearing its limit. Without hesitation, Emily strikes. Her staff cuts through the air and lands a hit. Ladybug stumbles, and the Fox Miraculous slips from her grasp. Emily wastes no time snatching it from the ground. She approaches Ladybug slowly, but her expression was just like her husband. The girl who saved so many is now vulnerable, and Emily is ready to take her prize. I've waited for this moment for so long. I tried to be peaceful. I only wanted the miraculouses. But this is the end for you, Ladybug. Watch part 2 from here. And as always, thanks for watching.